Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Time for Case's movie review, and it is 16 Candles. Let's get into it.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
Well, we normally don't dedicate a movie, but Madeline in Bloomingdale has been waiting for this review. Since we started doing these over a year ago, she mentioned 16 Candles way back when as one of the movies. So Madeline and all the people of Bloomingdale, you are represented here today in the 41st anniversary of 16 Candles. The Case will have the review going forward. It came out May 4th, 1984, and had a budget of $6.5 million. It made $23.6 million. It's so weird to see these box office takes of 80s movies because it seems like they did bad. But by their standards, we made 4 times the money.
Hell yeah.
I mean, they were happy with these takes at the box office.
It's all about the net, you see.
Yeah.
Net profit, Brian.
Because the actors weren't making $20 million a movie like The Rock does today.
Exactly.
And also, there wasn't a Marvel movie out there to set the standard of, it's got to make $1 billion to be successful. So, Rotten Tomatoes reported 81% of the critics giving it a positive rating based on 43 reviews with an average rating of 7.1 out of 10. And are we teasing next week's right now?
Let's talk about it.
Next week, Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Oh my God, I love Tom Cruise. I love him.
Get ready for Case not to be able to talk during that review.
I have so much to say already.
So that's 1996. God, the first Mission Impossible was 1996.
Yeah, that's what we're doing next week to coincide with the release of the final Mission Impossible, which also comes out next Friday.
Are they calling that the last one?
Yeah, I believe it's called The Final Reckoning.
It is, but sometimes that's just,
the name.
Then it's the real final reckoning comes out 2 years later.
I guess I should say the plan is for that to be the last Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Fast and Furious had a plan too.
Yeah, but then 5 years goes by and you're like, you know how we could make a lot of money?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, once the movie makes $1 billion, they'll sit back and go, why are we stopping this? What are we, idiots?
It's an impossible mission. He can't finish it.
Come on now.
But today is 16 Candles, and we know how Case feels about some 80s movies out there. Let's see what happens with this review. Case, by the way, if you're new to the show, Case is 26 years old and has never seen these movies. You might be going, why 16 Candles? Well,
what time warp did I jump into this morning?
You might be freaking out. You went through a wormhole on Lakeshore Drive, and you're now in the depression. That's why he does this. And now he's seen so many movies, he's becoming an expert. So, 16 Candles.
Let's start with the trailer.
What say you? Let's do the trailer first to go back to 1984. And this is what the commercial for 16 Candles sounded like.
16 Candles.
It's kind of cool the way she's always looking at me.
A movie about love.
Maybe she's crazy.
Life.
You quit feeling sorry for yourself. It's bad for your complexion.
Commitment.
Come on, you know you're the one I want to buy.
Truth.
Last night at the dance, my little brother paid $1 to see your underwear.
And the most important day of her life. 16 Candles.
This is getting good.
Rated PG. Special sneak preview April 27th and 28th. Opens May 4th at select theaters.
Oh, a special sneak preview at the theaters. We missed out on that, I guess. So that was 16 Candles, the review, which has obviously a lot of people of those 80s movies with our Chicagoans, John Cusack and Joan Cusack. We have Jeremy Piven, an interview coming up at 8:25, where he talks about the Piven Theater and all of them working in it. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Case, 16 Candles, Molly Ringwald the star, what say you?
16 Candles. Lot to be said about this movie, you know? Do you want me to start with the good or with the bad?
Give me the good.
Okay, you want to start with the good. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall, absolutely phenomenal in this movie. 16 Candles, for those that don't know, it's a movie about Molly Ringwald. In this movie, she wakes up on her 16th birthday. It happens to be the day before her older sister is getting married, and her entire family forgets about her birthday. And as a 16-year-old would do, she stomps around, she pouts, she's in a bad mood the entire movie. It's a very interesting choice to have your main character be such a drag the entire time, and it fits. Like if I was a 16-year-old girl, I would be pissed that everybody forgot my birthday.
Yeah, I think anybody would be mad. That hurt your feelings.
I can imagine Kenzie and they forgot her 16th birthday.
Well, we forgot Kenzie's 28th birthday, so we know how that went.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting choice where, Molly Ringwald, not exactly happy throughout this entire movie. Not a joyful person to be around, but luckily the youthful cast, and I will make that note that the youth cast is so much fun that I found the primary story of this movie with her yearning after a popular senior jock while she's a sophomore in high school, and a geek, a freshman, Anthony Michael Hall, him pining after the sophomore that is Molly Ringwald. I found all of that to be very entertaining. You know, it's a movie. I'm sorry, I'm choking on a peanut. Fill time for me real quick, Brian.
Why were you eating a peanut?
Well, because he was all,
Anybody want a peanut?
he needed some protein to get through this interview, and some peanuts do that.
I needed a peanut to get through the segment, and man, did it backfire. All right, I am back. Thank you, Wild Cherry Pepsi, for hydrating me throughout this segment.
Nice endorsement.
It's an interesting movie in that it starts a little slow. You know, one of the things I liked about Breakfast Club, which we reviewed in February for the 40th anniversary of it, was Breakfast Club, you get right into it. There is no downtime. Now, I had my nitpicks throughout that movie, the Ronald Reagan influence on the youth in that movie that I don't necessarily think is present in 16 Candles. These teens all seem pretty cool.
Which no reviewer, by the way, has ever worked that in, saying the Ronald Reagan influence on the kids in the Breakfast Club, except for Case, who was not even close to being around when he was president.
It was overbearing, though. But anyways, 16 Candles doesn't necessarily have that. It does start slow, and it does end in, I think, catastrophic fashion. But the middle portion of this movie, everything from the school dance to the end of the house party, I found to be very funny, very entertaining. I want to play the clip because my favorite scene of this movie is when they're in shop class, and Molly Ringwald is talking to Anthony Michael Hall, and they're talking about how Jake's his boy. You know, Jake is the guy that Molly Ringwald is pining after. And I just find his confidence. You know, being a freshman in high school, you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the world, but you have this blind confidence that only accelerates when you're pining after a woman. And I just love their interactions in this scene so much.
Would it be totally off the wall if I asked if I could have sex with you?
No, you asking me is not as off the wall as why I won't.
BD?
No, I'm sort of saving myself. It's really stupid. He doesn't even know I exist.
Oh.
Jake Ryan.
You like Jake? Jake's my boy! I just talked to Jake in the gym. He asked me about you.
Did not.
He did too. He did. He asked me what you were like.
Oh my... Oh. If you're lying, I'll beat the crap out of you.
I'm not lying.
Fantastic. Again,
I love it.
He's throwing fastballs in every scene he's in. He's really funny, not only with Molly Ringwald, but when he's with his geeks, John Cusack being one of them.
Yeah.
All of his scenes really deliver. There's two issues with this movie. One of which we'll get out of the way. We've got to rip the Band-Aid off on this. I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about this. It's not the major point of the movie.
I know where you're going with this.
But
I don't.
But as we talk about a lot of times, look, when I watch older movies, I'm not watching them with a red pen looking for everything that doesn't hold up with 2025 eyes. I really don't. Because that's not fun. I don't want to chastise people for the things that they enjoyed 40 years ago. There's nothing wrong with liking this movie. Long Duck Dong. The Asian foreign exchange student doesn't hold up, to say the least. The gong sound effect that plays whenever he's on camera, not great. The accent that not only he uses, but everybody uses to imitate him, not great. The constant questioning of whether he's Asian or mentally challenged, not great. I'll just say it. Long Duck Dog, a little distracting in this movie because he's in it a lot. In every single scene he's in, isn't one of those where you go like, oh man, you can't say that anymore. You go, oh my God, this is the lowest hanging fruit imaginable. Not fun at all.
I completely forgot that was in the movie because I'm like, what's wrong? And then as you said that, a core memory of him sitting at a table with his hair parted is shot into my mind. I forgot he was in the movie.
Listen, I'm going to want to respond. I don't do this very often, but I'm responding to this in this fashion. That you're not incorrect in the, I consider myself an evolved human.
I think you are. I think you are.
And that times change and you have to evolve with culture, how it goes.
Yes, you're hip. You're cool.
As a kid. Long Duck Dog. Hilarious. Funniest thing ever. And that actor, by the way, who was in some amazing movies afterward, that's Getty Watanabe, was in Gung Ho. Incredible. Certainly some stereotypes in that movie. Funny as hell. Live in the moment. Enjoy it. Don't overthink it. And I know you do a good job with that on that too, but I loved Long Duck Dog so much. And
let me tell you, doesn't hold up.
Holds up comedic-wise, maybe not cultural-wise.
Oh, sure. The other issue with this movie, as we come to a close here, is the ending of the movie. You know, this is we all think about 16 Candles as this great teen movie. You know, what's it like being a teenager in the 80s? The last half hour of this movie is dedicated to Molly Ringwald's sister's wedding, where she gets her period on the morning of the wedding, and so she basically overdoses on tranquilizers and can't act normally. Every single part of the wedding is a bomb. It is awful, and it is endless, and it's such a bummer because I think all of the teenagers in this movie really bring it. The problem is the surrounding cast, the adults. I don't really like her parents. I can't stand her grandparents. I didn't think they were any funny. And then the sister's wedding. Get out. I don't want to see that. This is a movie about teenagers falling in love, and I got to watch some woman get married that I don't know.
But that was the point, is because you're seeing it through Molly Ringwald's eyes, and she is like, this is dreadful. It's about my birthday. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
What was she
it's
like,
my birthday.
Thank you. I get that, and I like the vehicle of the wedding being the reason that they forget her birthday. But the wedding scene, that should be 5 minutes. We see her at the chapel. We see her leave. We're in and out. Let's go back to teenagers falling in love. Instead, I'm going to deal with physical gags from her sister that's on tranquilizers, and it all sucks. It is such a bummer to end this movie because it's a 90-minute movie, and there's 60 minutes that are really cooking, that are really funny. Again, outside of Long Duck Dong, outside of that very, very funny movie.
Also, the sister is hilarious during the wedding.
I was not a fan.
Drugged up, everything. Is there any more scenes you wanted to play? One more or no?
Well, I do like, just because it reminded me of me and who I am, once again, we go back to when they're in shop class. They're sitting in the car during the school dance.
Those are arguably the best scenes of the whole movie.
It's a 6-minute scene. Every line is hilarious. And this is when Molly Ringwald tells Anthony Michael Hall that everybody forgot her birthday. And for some reason, his response is to sing to her. And it just made me laugh so hard.
What a decent night, huh?
It's my birthday.
You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too.
Don't do that, okay?
Hey, Jude.
Stop it, okay? I mean, it's really been a shitty birthday for me. No offense, but I don't need a serenade right now.
What's wrong? You didn't get anything good, or?
I didn't get not even a happy birthday. My whole family just sort of blew it off.
I'd freak if my family forgot my birthday.
It's a brand new year. I'm 16. Everything should be platinum. I should be happy, right? Right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't get happy. It is physically impossible for me to get happy.
Would you feel better if you knew one of my secrets, or?
Don't gross me out.
No, we're not talking gross here. No, it's just embarrassing. This information cannot leave this room, okay? It would devastate my reputation as a dude.
No problem.
I've never bagged a babe.
I want to make clear, Anthony Michael Hall was 16 years old doing this movie.
God, he's unreal in it. This is, it's not a better movie than Breakfast Club as I get to my rating here. I like Breakfast Club more. His individual performance in 16 Candles is better than anything that anybody individually did in Breakfast Club.
Wow. All right. So what are you going to rate this movie as?
Oh,
in
God.
what?
Candles?
We could do.
How about dongs? Long Duck Dong,
no,
please.
I'm not doing
Donger
that.
needs food.
Boo.
How about hideous dress reveals? Because that's the biggest letdown of 16 Candles. Is she sews a horrible dress, and everyone's like, nobody would wear that.
No, it's 1984 fashion is abundant in this movie. I'll go Candles. I'll keep it simple. I'll go Candles.
Okay.
This is a 5 out of 10. This is
5?
This is 5 Candles. There's too many issues with this movie.
Oh, boo.
Again, Anthony Michael Hall brings it, but the rest of this movie does not hold its weight. It's very disappointing. It's not as good as Breakfast Club. It's no Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is a movie that I actually had seen before I started doing these reviews. I was let down by 16 Candles. I wanted to like this more.
Yeah, but at least Anthony Michael Hall's performance alone and Long Duck Dongs do carry it. All right, here we go. And again, a lot of people in that movie that are Chicagoans with John Cusack, Joan Cusack, and came through the Jeremy Piven Family Workshop. We've talked about that. And so we're going to have an interview with Jeremy Piven. Entourage, Ari Gold, that's coming up here in 10 minutes. A lot of revealing stuff in this interview coming up. We're going to ask the tough questions.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.